You did something once. Maybe it was small. Maybe you barely remember it. You raised your voice during a stressful afternoon. You moved them off the couch without thinking. You missed a feeding by 2 hours. You brought a stranger into the house, and your cat disappeared for the rest of the evening, and you forgot about it by the next morning. But your cat didn't. They were watching, processing, filing it away somewhere deep inside a nervous system that has been refining itself for millions of years, not to be dramatic, not to hold grudges, but to survive, to assess, to decide quietly and permanently what kind of creature you are. And here is what most people never realize. Cats don't just remember events, they remember feelings. They remember the emotional signature of a moment, the tension in your body, the sound of your breath, the way the air in the room changed. And those memories shape everything, how close they sit to you, whether they sleep near you, whether they come to you when the world feels threatening. Your cat has been building a profile of you since the first day you met, and most owners have no idea what's actually written inside it. Most people believe cats have short memories, that they live purely in the present moment, unbothered by the past and uninterested in the future. And on the surface, a cat can seem that way. Detached, self-contained, impossible to read. So when a cat behaves strangely after an argument, or suddenly avoids a room, or refuses to sit near someone new, people assume it's coincidence, mood, random feline unpredictability. But behavioral researchers studying feline cognition have found something far more deliberate happening beneath that calm exterior. Cats possess what scientists call associative memory, a powerful ability to link specific experiences with specific emotional outcomes. And unlike short-term recall, these emotional associations don't fade easily. They calcify. They become the invisible architecture of how your cat relates to the world and to you. These are 6 things your cat never forgets about you. 1. The first time you made them feel safe. Think back to when you first brought your cat home, or the first time a stray cautiously approached you. There was a moment, maybe subtle, maybe unremarkable to you, when your cat made a decision. This person is not a threat, and something shifted in their nervous system. Cortisol dropped. Their body language opened, even slightly. Cats are ambush predators by evolutionary design, which means they are also simultaneously prey. They carry both identities at once. And because of this, safety is not a neutral experience for them. It is profound. When a cat identifies a human as genuinely safe, that information gets stored with extraordinary permanence. Behavioral studies on feline attachment have observed that cats who experience calm, consistent handling in early life show measurably lower stress responses years later. The memory of safety becomes a biological baseline. This is why some cats will follow you from room to room years after adoption, not out of need, out of remembered trust. 2. Every time you ignored their warning signals, cats communicate discomfort with extraordinary precision. The flattened ear, the slow tail flick, the skin ripple along the spine, the sudden stillness before a bite. These are not random. They are a carefully sequenced language, and most humans don't speak it. When those signals are repeatedly ignored, when a cat is held too long, petted past their threshold, or forced into interaction they didn't invite, something accumulates, not anger exactly, something more like a revised assessment. This human doesn't listen, and from that point forward, the cat adjusts. They allow less proximity. They leave sooner. They stop sending the signals at all because experience has taught them signals don't work here. This is the part that changes everything. Many owners interpret this withdrawal as the cat being aloof, independent, just doing cat things. But what they're actually witnessing is a trust correction. The cat isn't being cold, the cat is being careful, and that distinction matters deeply. 3. The sound of your voice. When you are stressed, cats are acutely sensitive to vocal frequency and emotional tone. Research into feline auditory processing has shown they can distinguish between calm speech and tense speech with remarkable accuracy. Not the words, but the emotional current running beneath them, the tightness in a voice, the slight elevation in pitch, the clipped rhythm of someone holding something back. If you've ever been going through a difficult period, grief, anxiety, conflict, and noticed your cat behaving differently, this is why. They were reading you, and they were remembering, not the cause of your stress, which is beyond their understanding, but the emotional texture of it. The way you felt in those weeks or months becomes part of their stored map of you. If you're starting to see your cat differently right now, take a moment with that. And if this kind of content speaks to you, hitting like and subscribing helps more people find it. 4. Every act of genuine gentleness. On the other side of this, cats remember softness with equal precision. The slow blink you gave them when they were nervous. The time you sat on the floor so you wouldn't loom over them. The nights you let them leave the room without following. These moments register. In feral colonies, social grooming between cats is not casual. It is an act of emotional investment. It communicates, I am not a threat. I see your vulnerability and I choose not to use it against you. When you handle your cat gently, especially in moments when they are already anxious, you are speaking that same language, and your cat stores it under a category that functions like trust. Not unconditional trust. Earned trust, the most durable kind. 5. Whether you came back after being gone. Cats form what attachment researchers call proximity maintenance bonds. It sounds clinical, but it means something simple and deeply emotional. Certain individuals become anchors. When those anchors disappear, even temporarily, the cat's nervous system registers it as uncertainty. Where did they go? Will they return? Is the world still stable? Most owners don't realize this because cats rarely perform their anxiety visibly. They don't cry at the door like dogs. They go quiet. They sleep more. They wait in ways that look like indifference but are actually something closer to suspended animation, a holding of breath until the familiar scent returns to the house. And when you come back, they remember that too. Every return confirms something in the cat's internal model. This person leaves, and this person comes back. Over time, that pattern becomes a form of security. The absence becomes tolerable because the return has always followed. This is why long-term cats often seem more relaxed about solitude than newly adopted ones. They have evidence. They have memory. 6. The moments you let them choose. This is the one most people miss. Cats are, at their neurological core, creatures of autonomy. Their entire evolutionary history is built around independent decision-making. When to hunt, when to rest, when to engage, is when to withdraw. Control is not a luxury for them. It is a survival mechanism, and when that control is honoured by a human, when they are allowed to approach rather than be reached for, to leave rather than be held, to initiate rather than be subjected to, something registers at a level deeper than behaviour. It registers as respect, and cats remember the humans who respected them. Studies on feline social preference have consistently found that cats orient toward humans who allow them to set the pace of interaction. They seek out these people. They sit near them. They sleep in their space. Not because those humans were the most affectionate, but because those humans made them feel like they had a choice. And in the internal world of a cat, choice is safety. Choice is trust. Your choice is the closest thing they have to love expressed back toward them. Your cat is not a simple creature. They are not just reacting to the present moment, indifferent to history. They are, in their quiet and often misread way, keeping record. Not to punish, not to manipulate, but because memory is how they stay safe in a world that once had no humans in it at all. Every moment of gentleness you have offered them is stored somewhere in that careful, watchful mind. Every time you listened, every time you waited, every time you let them come to you on their own terms, they haven't forgotten, and in the language of a creature that cannot speak, that remembering is everything.